Hello, and welcome to Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. My name is Mary Bear Shannon. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. Again, this is Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. I am coming to you on Facebook Live from my home in Havertown. We have been doing our cooking show since April. If you get our e-newsletter, you may have seen that we put in there a link to our past episodes of Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. I've cooked a bunch of different things, a lot of my family's favorites, as well as things that have piqued my interest for Cookbook Club. And so we've been glad to have you here with us during this time of quarantine and lockdowns. So we're glad to have you here. Again, my name is Mary Bear Shannon, and I am a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. So Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine, it's a great place to learn about new recipes, to learn about ways that we substitute things when we have shortages. There are still some things that people are having trouble finding, and this is a good place to share those ideas. So today, a couple of things. You may know that the library is open. And we are open for grab and go service. If you did not know that, we are open for your library browsing needs. And come on by. Our hours are pretty much the same. Our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday hours are to 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. That's really the only change. And at the moment, we are not open on Sundays, but we're generally open as we have been since July. And we hope to see you at the library. Again, this is Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. My name is Mary Bear Shannon, and I'm glad to have some folks here. Welcome. So it is the end of October, so really the beginning of the eating and cooking season. And last time we were together, I did actually a Thanksgiving favorite for my family, which is a sweet and savory sweet potato crumble, which is delicious and really satisfies that sweet and salty of our taste buds here at the Shannon family. And so what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is some other things that are really synonymous for the fall and as well as Thanksgiving, and that's cranberries. And I was actually at the grocery store this weekend, and I was thinking it would be fun to talk about cranberries and the things that I make in the fall and for Thanksgiving. And I ended up getting a very large bag of cranberries. Of course, you can see I still have a lot left, so I've got some more cooking to do. But I am going to show you some 2 recipes today that I make for my Thanksgiving using cranberries. But there's just a little bit about cranberries. A lot of people don't actually know, how is it that we came to be eating cranberries at Thanksgiving. It's not the cranberry sauce that we know was not at the first Thanksgiving, although we are pretty sure that there were cranberries at the first Thanksgiving, but probably not cranberry sauce. It is considered a superfood, and people, you eat it in sauce form. They also drink it in juice. Of course, just recently there was the famous TikTok video with the guy skateboarding to the Stevie Nicks song and drinking cranberry juice, which has gotten a lot of views. But cranberries are a really amazing food. They are high in oxidants, and they're also have tons of other nutrients. They actually help with urinary tract infections, which I have, I've had that and then drank cranberry juice, and it did help. It's supposed to prevent cancer, certain types of cancer, and it's supposed to boost your immune system. And we all want to have a boosted immune system at the moment, given the current health crisis. So that is, and also decreased blood pressure is another thing that people suggest. But we are also, I guess some of the other background things about cranberries is it is actually, cranberries are from North America. So it's one of those things that the settlers found the Indians eating, and it was in New England. The Narragansett people of the Algonquin Nation was actually eating it and using it also for food dye, food and clothing dye, and they called it saseminisa. I really murdered that. And they introduced cranberries to the colonists. They probably did not make a sauce because sugar was really not in abundance really until the trade was established between the Caribbean and New England. So probably cranberry sauce was not at the first Thanksgiving table, but they actually probably served it with various meats. We're not actually sure there was turkey at the first Thanksgiving, but there was definitely deer meat, and often that is served with deer meat. At least it was at the time. Cranberry sauce didn't actually get its kind of didn't take off really till the 19th century, and that's when sugar was much more prevalent in the United States because of the trade from the Caribbean and the sugar plantations there. And so that's really where we see the emergence of cranberry sauce in cookbooks and various in media and in things. I'm seeing here that Shannon says she discovered this recipe last year and it's so easy. I've also had several people make it after I shared it with them too. Cranberry brie bites. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Well, Shannon, I definitely have some cranberries left over, so I may have to make that. So anyway, so traditional, like I said, traditional cranberry sauce didn't become popular to the 19th century. Of course, now you can eat it with a bunch of different variations. It is actually the simplest thing I make at Thanksgiving because it basically takes 3 ingredients, and it takes about 10 minutes. So, but I think that fresh cranberry sauce just kicks the canned stuff, kicks their butt. So I think if you're looking to do some things that are simple, that are homemade for Thanksgiving, and maybe do some other things that are somebody else makes, if you want to buy your pies, do that, but make your own cranberry sauce. I think it's definitely worth it. So I'm gonna show you cranberry sauce, super easy recipe today. But the other thing that I make and what my mom makes for our Thanksgiving is orange cranberry bread, which is one of my favorites to have at the Thanksgiving table. So we're going to show you both of those recipes today. Again, cranberries, they have a lot of great health benefits, but they also, they are one of the things that are native to North America. We will save this for another episode, but the whole idea of the Columbian Exchange, which is when things that were in North and South America crossed the ocean after the settlers came across, is kind of interesting. And then there are things from Europe and Asia that the North and South American people, the Indians, had never tasted, they'd never seen it, and they were very unfamiliar. Same with the colonists. And cranberries were one of those things. They had never come across cranberries and other things, but I will save that for another episode. Okay, so we are going to show you some cranberry recipes. Thank you, Shannon. If anybody else has other cranberry recipes, please share them with me. As I said, I still have quite a bit of cranberries left. They did not let me buy just the nice small package, so now I've got more cranberries to use up. Okay, so off to my kitchen, and we're going to show you a couple of recipes. So again, you're going to see my midsection as opposed to my face, but that's okay. But here is, just so you can see what I'm doing, this is just a pot of orange juice. Now, I use orange juice. Other people, many recipes call for water, but I like the orange juice in this. It's a cup of orange juice, and it is a cup of sugar. And then 3 cups of whole cranberries. Just pick out the ones that, don't look good. This was actually a pretty good bag. I did not have too many cranberries that were not in good shape. So I'm just going to dump this in here, and we're just going to stir it around. Again, this is the sugar. This is a cup of sugar, a cup of orange juice, and 3 cups of cranberries. And then we are going to, this was actually bubbling when I opened it up. We are just going to get this back to a boil, and we are going to boil this for 10 minutes, kind of on a low simmer. And what's going to happen is that these little cranberries are going to pop their skins. And they are going to release all their amazing goodness into this liquid. After 10 minutes, we're just going to turn this off and let it cool. That's really all you have to do. It's about as simple as you can get in terms of what you make for Thanksgiving. So we are going to cook this for about 10 minutes, and I'm just going to move on to some of the other things that we're going to do today. But we will keep an eye on this, and I will set my timer for 10 minutes and get that to cook along and have the cranberries split. And I think if anybody knows what exactly is in cranberries, but it does actually help it has some kind of chemical in it that helps to make it gelled and thick. And that's one part of my research that I did not do today. What is it that's in cranberries that makes it gelled like this? Because really all that's in here is the liquid and the sugar and the cranberries. Okay, so here we are. We're going to move on to our other, and I'm going to push this back so we can actually see my working area. We are going to make this cranberry orange bread. This is a Taste of Home recipe. I really like Taste of Home. They're always good recipes. Our cookbook club often has done Taste of Home cookbooks, and they really are. They come out really well. They're clearly well tested. And this one I particularly like. Okay, so we are going to start with we are going to do in a large bowl, we're going to combine flour, and it's going to call for 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So we are going to start with that, and I'm going to measure this out. Many of you know that may know this, but with flour, you don't want to pack it too hard. You want to actually kind of spoon it in. Again, we're going to do 2 3/4 cups. And then you just want to level it off. This is important with baking so that you're not getting too much of flour. What they really want you to do is just kind of, spoon it in and then level it off. So that's one. And one of the best classes I took at the end of my high school career, I had room in my schedule my senior year, and I took a food prep course, and it was one of the best things I ever did for myself because I learned so much about cooking and just some of the basics that, stuff that my mom taught me a lot about cooking, but that really helped me with the science. And I'm very glad that I took that class. So we're doing, and I'm just going to keep an eye on this cranberry sauce. It is still kind of humming along here, but I don't want it to burn. And but that food prep class just taught me tons especially about the science and the chemistry of flour. That was a class that taught me how to make a classic white sauce, which I didn't know how to do before that. So that was just really, really helpful. And of course, white sauces are just kind of the core to almost everything we do. Okay, so that is the, oops, no, we don't want to do that. Sorry. I bumped something and I don't want you all to go away, and it's telling me, please end, and I'm like saying no. So hopefully you're still there. There we go. Okay. See, as I said, it's not the Food Network, but we're doing the best we can here. Okay, so the next thing after the flours, we want to do the sugar. So this is calling for 3/4 of a cup, excuse me, 2/3 of a cup of white sugar. And I am going to do 2 of these. This is my 1/3 of a cup. And then I'm going to do 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. This is kind of one of the reasons why I like this. I just love that richness that comes with brown sugar. So it's going to call for 2/3. And again, this is going to be packed. Brown sugar should be packed. When it calls for an increment of brown sugar, you want it to be packed. Okay, so that's my sugar. And then it's calling for 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So we're going to stick that in and get all of that out. And a teaspoon of salt. Again, this is a classic quick bread. So it has, and this is starting to boil. So I'm going to turn this down so we don't bubble all over my kitchen. But this is a classic quick bread. Eat really easy. The leavener is the baking powder, and the nice thing is it doesn't have to rise. So this is a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon that's going in, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So we're going to put that in, and we're going to kind of mix this up, all the dry ingredients. Make sure especially that baking powder gets in here because you want the leavener to react once we put in the wet ingredients. So we're going to mix that up. And then this calls for an egg. Actually, it calls for an egg that's at room temperature. And I know that's tough, especially when you're ready to cook and you're pulling something out of the refrigerator. But I was here this afternoon getting ready for Kickin' Cooking, so I did pull it out about an hour and a half ago. This is just going to be whisked, and we're going to just break up the yolk and make sure that it is all ready to go. We're going to put that in. This calls for a cup of milk. Now I came home, and I'm living at home with my husband and my 2 college-age kids, and they are just human vacuum cleaners and garbage disposals. They eat everything in my house. And I came home and I had no milk. I had gone to the grocery store for everything else, and they had drunk all my milk. So what I'm putting in here is evaporated milk. I just have it in a can. I have it because I hate getting into the refrigerator and having no milk for my coffee or no half and half. And often things just get drunk. That nobody tells me that it's gone. So this is evaporated milk, and that, it's fairly creamy. This called for a 2% milk. I think it probably will suffice. Again, another substitute when you are out of something in your house. It is asking for orange juice. So this is calling for a 1/2 cup of orange juice. So that's going to give it that nice orangey flavor. And then also 3 tablespoons of oil. There's really not a whole lot of oil in this, but you do need a little bit of oil in this recipe. Okay. And then it's going to ask you, actually it's asking me to whisk this. So I'm going to take my whisk, and I am also just keeping an eye on my cranberry sauce. It's coming along nicely, and I'm going to whisk this together and till it's just blended. That's the thing about quick breads, is you do not want to overstimulate the gluten. You will get, you'll get this tall peaks on your bread. You really just want to mix this up till it is just combined. So And I'm just whisking this together. It looks like it's pretty much all combined. We're going to get all of this out of the whisk. And we are done with that. Again, very, very a light stir and whisking of all of your ingredients. And just one last little stir here. Okay, so that is the batter. And now we are going to fold in. And you know what I've missed at this point is the orange zest. This is just a tablespoon of orange zest. I zested one fairly large navel orange. And so we're going to put that in. That's going to really give it that nice orange flavor. The other thing I'm going to fold in next is my cranberries. This is 2 cups of coarsely chopped fresh or frozen cranberries. Of course, I found that huge bag of fresh cranberries, and I roughly chopped this, and that's going to go in. I really like being able to actually see the cranberries in the dish. And then the other thing, which I really like to this recipe, is 1 fairly large apple that is chopped up. The skins are removed. It's peeled. I did put a little bit of lemon juice so it wouldn't react and it wasn't going to be all brown by the time we came on. I'm probably not going to put all of this lemon juice in there, and that is my cranberry sauce. So we are going to just turn this off, the cranberry sauce, and we are just going to let it sit and we're going to let it cool. Now, again, some people love that gelled stuff out of the can. You know, go for it. It's just not my cup of tea. For me, this is the real deal, is the fresh cranberry. Okay, so now we are just going to slightly fold in the cranberries, the chopped apple, the orange zest. Okay, and so we're going to have a fairly, chunky, quick bread here, but there's going to be lovely juices released and cooked into the bread. I just think the flavor is just fabulous. Okay, I know I sound like Ina Garten. It's fabulous, but it is fabulous. I love the cranberries and the apples and the orange. It's just a great combination. Okay, so this is all folded in, and the next thing we're going to do is put these in pans. My dishwasher is running. See, it's just, again, this is not the cooking. This is not the Food Network. We are trying to actually have a family here and I feel like my dishwasher is running all the time with 4 of us here in the house and my vacuum cleaners here at home. So anyway, we have 2 pans. I have greased these fairly liberally so they will come out of the dish when we are done, and we are going to put in the batter here, and we're gonna split this between the 2 pans, and then we will get them in the oven. But as I said, quick breads are great and they're quick. That's part of why they're great. You don't have to let them rise. You're not using yeast. And there's so many good things about this batter. I'm going to make sure I actually get absolutely everything. So I'm going to use my little spatula. I know I don't actually say spatula, but there are people in my life that say spatula. So we'll say that today. So we're going to make sure we get all of this out and into our pans. And then we are ready to go here. So we have both of these pans ready to go. They are going to go into the oven. We're going to bake these at 350 for 50 to 55 minutes. I think I have mentioned to you that my oven is fast. It's really hot. So I will probably check this after 45 minutes. Again, we all kind of know our ovens better. It's hard to actually go to somebody else's house and cook in their oven because I think we do get used to their the temperature and how quickly we think things will actually be done. The way you tell that these are done is that you're going to put a toothpick in the center and it's going to come out clean. And when that happens, you're going to remove them, and you are going to cool these for 10 minutes before you attempt to get them out of the pan. And you probably want to run a knife around it. Again, these were nicely greased, so they should come out. But we probably want to run a knife around this. Actually, if I thought about it, I might have put wax paper on the bottom so that we could actually get it out and make sure that we get it out. But again, these were pretty well greased. I think we will probably get these out of the pan pretty easily. So I'm going to put these in. I'm going to get my oven open here, and we are going to stick these in. Again, I'm going to check these after about 45 minutes. But again, you will know that they are done when you put, now you can see me again, when you put a toothpick back into the center and they come out clean. So anyway, that is what I've got today for cranberries. Again, we will continue to go through this eating season before Thanksgiving. Cranberries is one of those areas where I love to cook and love to bake. Again, if you have other cranberry recipes, put them in the comments, send them to me. My email is shannon@haverfordlibrary.org. As I said, I have a lot left, and I need to figure out what to do with the rest of my cranberries. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.